And I'm going to give you a bit of a look at this. This is a buck converter. Now it did say on eBay, well it suggested, it didn't actually say that it can also boost. I haven't tried it, it's just come today. Here's the eBay listing. Deal Crazy 14, £1.60. Tiny mini book, 3 amps, it's claiming. DC converter step down module adjustable, 3, 5, 16 volt, RC LM 2596S. If you look here on this image, it actually suggests clockwise booster. That's what it says, booster. Now I aren't buying it to be a booster. What might interest you? Here's some more information here. 22 by 17.4 presumably. So we can input from 4.5 to 28 volts and output from 0.8 to 20 volts adjustable. Maximum current 3 amps. Switching through, you can see, as you see there, 1 megahertz, 30 milliamp, well less than ripple voltage. Sounds a bit high to me, to be honest with you. 90% efficient maximum. This depends what voltage you're going from and up to. Non-isolated step-down module book, it says there. So I don't know why it's saying boost on the image here, but we'll have a look at that and see if we can get the voltage to boost, okay? Just now. So there's the eBay listing. This pack, I've got an old multimeter here. Sort of from Radio Shack, if I remember right. And I've got one of these bitchy VC99s, whatever they are. So this is going to be used for input, this is output. I've got this ATX power supply unit here, which I've got some of the voltages out of. I'm using 2 wires going to each voltage to make sure it can handle the ampage. So I've got 3 volts, 5 volts and 12 volts. Now basically I want this to put in 12 volts and output 5 volts. But I'm also going to try and boost with it if it will. Okay, so it has a little trimmer pot on and hopefully we can boost with that. So it's got this like notch in here and we tear this. Now you'll have to sometimes be careful of statics when handling electronics. There's no warning signs on it about that. So that's that side, and there's an arrow on there. It's got output on here, input on that side, and an arrow pointing left in this case. I'll try and zoom in here and show you the surface. So it's got output negative at the top, output positive at the bottom, input doesn't go negative or positive side on the input so far as I can see. We'll have a look at that. I'll zoom in if I can. So there we are, got the little trimmer. Got a chip. Actually it's probably easy for, I think this is a big inductor here. Actually I don't know. I'm not an electronics expert. Resistor or something. Possibly resistor, capacitor. Each side. So that's that side. That. It says, what does it say? U Sun. I've heard that name before, so we've got positive there, negative the output. Yep. So there's a back. Not a lot to see really. Looks like a good ground plane, I guess. So input on the left now. turn that so we can maybe get that chip number. So they haven't scratched that chip number off. I've got a feeling that this is a square inductor. That's what I think that is. I don't think it's 100% marked. So a few other surface mount components. That's probably a big diode, I imagine. Let's go line down that left hand side now. Almost as if to indicate, yes, that is a big chunky diode, I think. Trying to show you from each edge. So sometimes when I'm measuring stuff, I put the 10 on to mark the edge sort of thing. Because putting a 0 on can be a bit tricky with these sort of metal. They are meant to move, by the way, because one is for the outside, one is for the inside, so it's good. But sometimes it can be a little bit tricky, so we're saying just over 20 millimeters. Can't be right, can it? Yeah, 20 millimeters. And this way, again, try and put that 10 on the edge there. Try and get that in camera a little bit. So about 18, say 17, 18. And the thickness, overall the thickness I would estimate to be, say 5 millimeters or so. Can I get the edge of the board on there? Up to the top of that item here. Okay, I'm not an electronics expert, so there you go. So I'm going to solder a couple of wires on the input. Input, say 12 volts. And we'll see if we can get 5 volts on the output, and then I'll start cranking it up to see if it will go above 12 volts. I would say that seems like it's got two, like, sorry, I'm going to be muck on my finger there, two almost like negative inputs, two positive inputs or whatever, and likewise on the outputs it's got two, whichever way around it is, I can't remember now. So that's, in a way, you could have two wires, and presumably that will give you more amperage. This is said to go up to, I think, 3 amps. I'll put some details on here on the video. So there's a like adjustment potentiometer here. Okay, I've soldered up some wires, input in here from the ATX that's over here, just out of shot, 12 volts. You know, the input voltage is basically 3, 5 or 12, and I'm selecting 12 here. So let's turn that on volts. Now I've already, so far as I remember, turned this potentiometer down. So, yeah, 12 volts going in there, definitely. So I know there's definitely 12 volts going in because I'm not touching where the wires are going in, I'm touching the next contacts through them. Let's try this other side on this other multimeter. That's in 0.8. half a volt coming out. And that's saying 0.8. So that's agreeing with, those two multimeters are agreeing with each other with the output there. I'm just trying to feel this, feel the chips there, nothing. Trying to get a screwdriver in this potentiometer again. Turn it. You know what, it might be if you turn it clockwise it increases it. I have no head of potentiometers doing that. So that's suggesting 10 volts there. I bet you that's what it is. So turning it clockwise, and it doesn't seem to turn very far. That's clicking, or the screwdriver's clicking in the thing there. We've got half, well, say 0.8 of a volt. But now turning it anti-clockwise, I think this screwdriver's slipping in here. Right, that's all the way right. And then turn it left. So that's going to 10 volts. So it's not boosting that 12 volts. It's bucking it down to 10 volts there. 12 volts going in, 10 coming out. So it's turning it anti-clockwise is increasing the voltage. Turning it clockwise, it seems to jump there. So 0.8. Can I get this on 5? See how easy it is to get it on 5 volts, which is the voltage I want. Alright, 4.999. But tends to seems to be a little bit jumpy there. A bit hard to adjust. I'm turning this very, very fine. You might. So I've got 5.4. I'm turning it anti-clockwise. See, let's jump to 6. So 5.94 output there, 12 volts going in. I'm going to leave it a few seconds. I cannot feel any heat, but this isn't drawing any like amps really, or shouldn't be. Might as well turn this off because that's not thinking. Okay, I'm going to put 5 volts in now using the same ATX. I've got this terminal strip, so I've got 3 volts, 5 and 12 volts. Now I haven't adjusted the thing on it, not deliberately anyway. Now remember that if you're putting in the bigger the voltage difference, so to speak, the less efficient it is. So let me try turning this up, which is turning it anti-clockwise. So 5 volts going in can give a maximum of 4 coming out as good as. Can we see that? Okay. Turning it clockwise now. And that's about as far as it goes, so it doesn't seem to... I don't know, it doesn't seem to want to turn a lot. Maybe it's more than what I think. So again we're back to 0.8 of a volt on the low end, which is turned totally clockwise. Okay, turn it anti-clockwise, so go on there. We're getting to the maximum of 4 volts, so it is definitely a buck. There's no boost in this, even though the image did seem to suggest that it might boost. I didn't really expect it to. It doesn't say that boost. There's no indication in the like this and that will boost. Turn it off. Let's watch it drop a bit. And then I'm going to turn it back on. See if it comes to that same voltage it was just on there. Turn it on. So it's 4.1. Near enough. turn it off. Don't know what happened there. Did it actually dump some voltage into it? These types of meters aren't 100% well, all that good. So it seems to go back to the 4.1. Okay, I'm going to put back on 12 volts because that's the voltage I will be wanting to put into it, and 5 volts coming out. Okay, put on the 12 volt cable, turn it on, and that's without adjusting the potentiometer, so it doesn't sort of stay at, if you change your input voltage, so to speak, it's going to impact on the output voltage. So let me turn this anti-clockwise, which should increase it. So what's the maximum I'm going to go to? On 12 volts going in is about 10 volts. Now it does say it can 4.5 to 28 volts input, 0.8, which is what we were seeing on the low end, to 20 volts on the output. But that obviously going to have to put in, well, 28 volts to get that voltage on the output. So there's our 0.8, that's the lower end, turned all the way clockwise. Let's go all the way anti-clockwise. Let me try and get that on 10 volts or something. See how easy it is to do. It's a bit awkward, sometimes it seems to jump. And my screwdriver is actually clicking in the slot to a certain extent, so it's a bit... There we are, 10 volts. It seems to be varying a bit there. That might be the potentiometer. Let's turn it off. Let's turn it back on. We do get this bar graph jumping like right over, so I don't know if there's a pulse of electricity coming through there. So back to 10, 11 volts where we set to. Let's turn it off. Does go, the bar graph does seem to go up a little bit there, even though the power's been put off. Let's turn it back on. See that, how that goes totally over to the right. Turn it back on, it stabilizes at near enough, well, 10, 11 volts basically. So I would say it's a bit hard to get spot on here. That's my view. I'm going to try to adjust this to its final. I wanted at 5 volts coming out. I want 12 volts going in and 5 volts coming out. Okay, so I'm going to do that just now. Don't like that jump, like seems like a pulse of electricity there coming over. Do not like that. I wouldn't want to risk this on too much sensitive, so I've got to remember to turn clockwise to turn down the voltage, and anti-clockwise to increase the voltage, which is a big nuisance because normally you turn clockwise to increase volume, increase things. I'm turning anti-clockwise, or trying to. I don't know if that's turning. Ah, there we are. So there's our leaving of 5 volts, which I want. I have to be careful not to knock the potentiometer once you've set the... I can't feel any heat. No warmth at all, but there's no like major current draw here. So that's a brief look at this. I want this for my 3D printer. There's power servos. 12 volts going in, 5 volts going out, going to a 5 volt servo basically.